Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Roland, and today I want to make an announcement. I'm going to start a brand new website called Shedding Shackles. Shedding Shackles, letting go of the shackles from the past, finding freedom. You know what shackles are? They're like being handcuffed or chained. And many of us are chained to the past, manacled to the past, bound to the past. What someone did to us or said to us or what happened to us recently or even a long time ago. Often these are traumas. And most people never get past the traumas of their childhood, actually, if you want to know the truth. You see, what happens, it's very much like the movie Dark Crystal. There was a beautiful movie called Dark Crystal. And I don't know if any of you have seen the movie. But it was a movie about these two sweet, little innocent creatures or people who ended up in a land of terrible, ugly ogres, big, ugly ogres. And they survived, and they came out fine at the end of the movie. But I'm sorry to say, and I know this is hard for some people to hear, but those of you who were traumatized when you were children, which is everybody, but those of you who see, who know, see, some people are messed up and they know they're messed up. Other people are messed up and they don't know they're messed up. The ones who know that you're messed up, you know that there were traumas, okay, when you were a child. And so you were born as originally, our true identity is to be a child of God. Now, not everyone is going to make it. Maybe only a few make it. I really don't know. But that's what we were meant to be as human beings, children of God. He is our Heavenly Father. And what Christ was all about was to make it possible, to set us free from the past so we could move forward to become children of God. It's that simple. Now you're children of what? Children of your culture, of your upbringing, of your traumas. See? And you've been remolded, reshaped, transmogrified, corrupted, downgraded, stressed and traumatized by what happened to you. See, you were just a little child, and you weren't ready for the cruelty and the meanness and the phoniness and the pressure that was put upon you. And what you saw when you were a little child, you wanted your parents to be like your dad to be like a prince, and your mom to be like a princess. We kind of know when we're little children, don't we, what a parent is supposed to be. And they weren't. See? But you mustn't hate them. Don't resent them. You must forgive them. See, you must forgive your father. The world was too much for him. He lost it when he was a little child, so he was traumatized and slapped around and put down when he was a little child. And your mom, well, her father wasn't there for her, undoubtedly. She grew up feeling empty. She went out in the world looking for love, and all she found was use and abuse. And so your parents were flawed, imperfect. And maybe they did the best they could. It's very likely they did the best they could. But they had their own inside. They were tormented. And there was something in them that came through their parents and had come through their great-grandparents and great-grandparents all the way back to the Garden of Eden when Adam was penetrated, see, by the spirit of the serpent, the spirit of pride. And that spirit has passed from generation to generation down to the present generation. And so some of that is now in you because of the way you reacted Well, see, when you were a little child, you were like the two little people in the movie Dark Crystal who were in this world of ogres. Most parents are ogres, willful, impatient, selfish, see, without understanding. And father, see, weak, see, without understanding. But if your father, see, had somehow found freedom from his bondage of his past and had found a rapport with his creator, see, so he had an invisible means of support from within, then his virtue and his honor and his kindness and his wisdom and his long-suffering and his patience and his forbearance, see, and the twinkle in his eye, you would have seen the good in him, see, that good which you could have respected and perhaps one day come to love the good that is in him. And that good would not have even been him. It wouldn't have been from your father. It would have been from the Creator. And there would only have been a small step for you to transfer allegiance from the good in your father to your allegiance to the good father that you can see, to the father that you cannot see. See? But because your father was weak, he became sometimes a non-factor. If he was halfway decent, he became a non-factor. And then your mom resented him for his having failed her. She needed love too. She wanted something from him. She wanted a special agape love, an emotionless love from him. But instead, he put her on a pedestal. He looked to her to be his God. See, he was a woman worshiper. He worshipped mother, his wife, because he wanted something from her. He wanted her to support his ego. See? Well, she did, but she resented him for it because he shouldn't have been needing supportive love. He should have been giving love, a special love that would have come from his Creator, that would have corrected her resentment and her anger toward men, toward all men, for having failed her. See, and then she could have respected that in him, but instead he became a whimpering dog looking for her approval and her love, or a woman's love. And if she didn't give it to him, then he went out looking for it from other women or other men, or the bottle, or from work, or from money. See, always needing support, craving reassurance for his wobbly ego. So such men are weak, and women hold them in contempt. But she became guilty. She became guilty for her resentment of him, because resentment is wrong, see. So in her guilt, see, she tried to make up for her guilt, to assuage her guilt by being nice to him, by doing more for him, and by serving, see, doing more and more. But the more she did for him, the weaker he became, the more of a big kid he became, the more of a spoiled kid he became, looking for his fix, his sex fix, and his food fix, and his ego support fix, you see? So he became worse because of her love, see, which that also she resented, seeing that. Well, okay, so now you see what you came from, a world of ogres, and you weren't ready for it, see? And you were disappointed, and you were shocked, and you were hurt. And so then you looked out in the world for love. You clung to your friends, to your peer group, see, or to the academia, to study, or to sports. You looked for compensations to fill the emptiness, or to food, or to drugs, or to alcohol, see, to being popular. But then you became addicted to whatever it was that you looked for support. You became dependent on it and addicted to it. And behind it all, you knew it was your father was somehow to blame for it. If he had been there, if he had been stronger than the world, see, if he had been there for you, then somehow you would have been safe, you would have been okay. But now you must realize that your father, even as Christ, when he was on the cross, there were two thieves, and one thief said, please remember me when you come into your kingdom. And Christ said, today you will be with me in paradise. See? He forgave the thief, or whatever the thief had done, he forgave him. But Christ also said, and this is what I was really getting at, is that he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Okay? So here he was in this moment of great torture. He said, forgive them, Father. So you must forgive your earthly father, for he didn't know what he was doing. See, he never found it. He never found that special love. He never found his Creator. He never found his true identity, his ground of being. See? So you have to forgive him. Okay? In other words, don't hate him, don't resent him. If he was a good father, then if he was a decent father, then respect what was good in him. See? And forgive him for his having failed you. And if he was no good, then you can still respect fatherhood. See? The idea of fatherhood, you can respect that. And your own father, just don't hate him. Maybe he wasn't respectable. Okay? Just forgive him for whatever he did or failed to do for you. Just forgive. In other words, let go of the resentment. That's how you forgive. Let go of the resentment. It's that simple. Just let it go. Let it go. Okay? Then when you let it go. See, Christ said a very interesting thing. He said to deny yourself. He told us to deny ourselves and to pick up our cross and follow him. And somewhere else he said to lay down the earthly life and pick up the spiritual life. He said you must lay down your life to pick up the other life, see? So when he said deny yourself, what did he mean? He meant deny yourself the ego comforts, the ego supports, that sustain pride, see? And sustain the false life. So now your life is based upon, your whole life is based upon resentment, see, and secret hostility and judgment of people, of others who failed you, just as your father failed you. You can resent all men for having failed all women, see. So to deny yourself then would be to let go of the resentment, see. That resentment or the contempt for men, see, contempt, judgment for them. See, when you indulge the judgment, see, it's like a candy for your ego, see, and you can puff up in self-righteousness, puff up in contempt for men, for the nothings that they are, see. But what that does is that sustains your old self. See, it sustains your old self, and it blocks you from moving forward to find your true self. See, so I think I'll stop with this message, with that important message. Okay, to let go of the resentment. Let it go. And it helps. It's easier to let it go when you get married or live with someone, and then especially when you have kids, because then you see what was in your parents. Now it's in you, how it got into you through resenting them. You fell from your true identity and you began to pick up what they were. See? So now you find yourself yelling and screaming at your kids just as they did, or playing a game of rejecting your kids, or pressure, or manipulating them, or see, things that were done to you, now you're doing to them. And if you can see that that's not good, that it hurts them. See, if you can see that now that's in you, do you want to do that? Do you want to manipulate your kids or yell and scream at them or any of that? No, of course you don't. You don't really want to. See? But you can hardly stop yourself. See? There's something in you that craves to be cruel. Well, that was in your parents. And they couldn't stop themselves any more than you can stop yourself. See? So now it makes it easier for you to forgive, because you see they weren't being mean on purpose or cruel or what have you. There was something in them that was compelling them to be cruel, compelling your father to not communicate with you properly, compelling your mom to be witchy or whatever they did. See, it in them, remember? The worm that dieth not, the spirit of pride, the spirit of the fall of the Garden of Eden that passes from generation to generation. See? So you must make the buck stop with you. Have you heard that old expression? Let it stop with you. Let it be that you not pass it on. Let it be that you don't pass it on to your children so they can be free of it, to live happy and productive lives. Okay? And the way you can stop it from being transferred is, first of all, by forgiving your parents, especially your father. In other words, let go of the resentment toward them. Let go of the judgment toward them. Let go of your grudge toward them. Let it go. Okay? My name is Roland.